America's choice and home care.
Oh my God, I can't. Was that professional?
How'd you guys like that? Did you guys like that?
Was that professional? We were really professional this morning.
We had a lot of folks say that they don't like the silent intro, that they would much prefer having background noises like us opening up potato chips or whatnot.
I don't even know what I did the first day. I think I was just like getting up to close my door. I'm running around. I'm like,
sounded like there was a murder happening in your room. Like it was so loud.
I was like, I have 15 seconds. I have so much time. I can actually organize my closet, you guys. I have time. That's what I would do.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys, make sure that you are subscribed to our channel, our YouTube channel, and all the things. chicksontheright.com/link, socials, everything. Make sure you're subscribed to everything all over. Click all the things. And then the bell too. Like when you get the bell, hit the bells, hit the subscribes, do all the things. Do it. I implore you. Also, now is the best time to buy gold from Birch Gold because you in danger, girl. Text chicks to 989898. There's no obligation. You just get a free info kit. They're going to educate you. It's fantastic. So do that. Birch Gold. Text chicks to 989898.
You guys, it's going to be a really long show today. I don't even know. Like today, the past several long shows, I've been like, we're going to be right at 2 hours. Like I've figured out kind of the rhythm, and so I've felt for the past several days we're going to be at about 2 hours. Today,
overshoot.
I feel like it could go over, like maybe by a lot. I don't know. But I worry. Why are we having trouble streaming to Rumble? It says we're having trouble. I don't know. Are you guys on Rumble? Is everything okay? Oh yeah. See, on Rumble it says everything went dark and they can't.
Jeez. Come
is it
on.
Back? Now somebody's saying it's back. Is it back? Are you guys there in the ball pit? Hello? 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 Are you there? Can you see us? I don't know if they're there or not. Twitter stopped too? What the heck is going on? Have we been banned from all the things?
That's not okay. Really?
Yeah, that's weird.
Hold on. That's weird. Are we on Facebook?
Well, we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube. Rumble and Instagram were frozen. So somebody came here. Lori came here. Facebook is fine.
Okay, Facebook. That's weird. We're on Facebook, but we're not on Twitter.
Okay,
what?
Rumble is back. Rumble is back. The ball pit is in action. Everything is good. I don't know what's going on Twitter. We'll have to see how that's going.
You guys, we have got to get shirts made that say it's going to be a long show.
I know, right?
It's coming. They're coming. They're coming.
We really do. But today, especially, it is going to be a long show. Because you know how, like, for the last several days, we've been saying, man, we have so much we want to talk about with this whole security failure of the Secret Service on that assassination attempt. And we just haven't been able to get to it because of all the other breaking news. Today, we're going to get to it because of the hearing. So definitely going to get all the way into that. And first we need to thank Julie Tyler, who says, good morning, chicks. During the show yesterday, my 110-pound yellow lab baby O started barking maniacally every time you played a Kamala Harris clip.
Dogs know.
They know.
They totally know. Yeah.
Melissa Oliver, thank you. She says, please pray for my brother-in-law. He had a farming accident and is on life support.
Oh my gosh.
Love you girls. Longtime listener. Oh my gosh. That is horrible.
We're good at the prayers. We really are.
For that, for sure. And Alexandra, thank you. She says, good morning. Please pray for the victims who were killed during a mass shooting yesterday near Zagreb, Croatia. I thank God my family doesn't live in that town and that I'll be able to visit them soon this fall. Wow. Wow. I mean, that's all bad. That's
all the prayers. News. I know. Bad news everywhere. I know.
I don't like any of that at all. I don't like it. Okay. And then I see that we have a Venmo as well that just came from, let's see if I can refresh my screen. Come on. There, Dave. Dave Hendon says, we need to play like we're down 50 points. In 2020 and 22, we played like we were winning and no one voted. So right.
Accurate.
Totally accurate. And we're actually going to get into that quite a bit after we talk about all the security failures for sure. And then we also want to make sure that we are talking about our friends at Ruff Greens. This right here is what a Jumpstart trial bag looks like of Ruff Greens. This is the amazing green health powder that was created by the founder of Ruff Greens, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black. And he is amazing when it comes to creating stuff, a premium nutritional supplement specifically for your dog to live their longest and bestest and healthiest life. This is chock full of vitamins and minerals, omega oils 3, 6, and 9, probiotics, antioxidants, digestive enzymes. It was sourced and made right here in the United States at an FDA registered facility. Super easy to measure out. And this, you can try it for free. You just go to Ruff Chicks, RUFF Chicks.com, and you'll get this free Jumpstart bag. You can see if your dog likes it. I can almost guarantee you that they will. And by the way, Jeff from Denver, testimonial, he says, our old dog Jack is 15. He was suffering from lethargy and a lot of weakness in his legs. He often seemed confused and had trouble moving around, and that has all changed. He is lively, eats much more regularly, has tons of energy. He's back to playing with other dogs and us. We hope this lasts for many more years. It's been a miracle. So that is just one of many testimonials. Dogs, try it. Ruffchicks.com. And also thank you to Katie Murphy for the super sticker. Appreciate it. And over on Locals, Mel Hope 9 says, good morning, chicks. I'm finally out of bed early enough to see you live. So excited. Stay awesome. Thank you for all of that. And we actually have a couple from yesterday that I feel terrible that I missed. Dixie said yesterday, hasn't Pennsylvania already started voting? I could not wait until today to see how I felt about all of this.
Thank you, Dixie.
And then also Peggy Pickering, I missed her birthday. I hate that.
Happy belated.
Yes. She said, best way to start my birthday is with my favorite ladies. I couldn't wait to hear what you have to say today. So sorry, I missed that. A couple other headlines to just get into that were sort of interesting. This took me by surprise. Yesterday, July 21st, well, this was 2 days ago that it was dated, but Hunter Biden had his case. He just voluntarily dismissed his lawsuit against Fox News. Don't you think that timing is weird?
Yeah, it is really weird.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what to make of that.
Same.
I don't know what to do with that information.
What do we do with that?
Yeah, it is bizarre. I don't know.
But
I gotta sit with that for a day.
Just let that simmer.
Yeah.
That sort of,
I'm gonna let it marinate.
Yeah, just kind of stew on that.
That whole family, I don't trust. I think they're sketch. I think something's going on. Where is his dad? Everything is weird right now. Everything.
Oh my God. Is it ever? Here's a little bit of good news for those of you who, like us, hate with the fury of a billion suns those ridiculous climate protesters who block traffic and who are just horrendous. One group in particular is called Just Stop Oil. This is, I think, a UK-based group, and they have just been sentenced. These 5 people that you see have actually gotten significant prison sentences for disrupting traffic on the M25. And we're 4 years and 5 years for the ringleader, which
fantastic.
Is absolutely awesome. And the judge in the sentencing talked about, and the jury heard evidence about the impact that those protests caused on just random people in the public who were just trying to get to where they wanted to go. And so they gave as examples people who missed funerals, a child with special needs who missed part of the school day and his medication.
Oh my God.
All of these different things that these clowns never think about when they're doing their stupid protesting. It matters.
And they probably don't even feel bad about it. I wonder if they know how absolutely hated they are.
Oh my God.
Everybody. That's
even person who's ever changed their mind to come to their side.
Totally. I think even people on the left are like, you kind of suck. Even just a little bit, even if they don't want to admit it, they don't like these people. None of us do. If you're stuck in traffic because of these jackholes, you don't like them.
Yeah. I hate them, and I'm not even impacted directly by them. I just feel for everybody else that is. It's so selfish. So that's great. And then, one of the things that the judge had written in the statement just said, your fanaticism makes you entirely heedless of the rights of your fellow citizens. And he's absolutely right. And so good on them for giving him some serious prison time. I hope they have a lot of time to think it over.
Yeah, that second point is it's apropos. It's like your perspective is basically that the criminal law doesn't apply to you because of climate change. They're lunatics. It's weather. Oh my God.
Tucker Carlson and his longtime producer apparently recently visited Mar-a-Lago to pitch Trump a docuseries about his campaign. Trump said yes, and it's going to be released on Tucker Carlson's streaming platform before the election. And so they were filming the day of the assassination attempt. So this is going to be super interesting.
My gosh. Yeah. Wow.
I cannot wait for that. Cannot wait.
Yep.
Also, if you are a person who has ever submitted DNA to Ancestry.com, you should know that Blackstone now has control of that. And so
I saw that the other day. Yeah, it kind of sucks, right?
That's a little bit concerning.
I don't know what's worse. I mean, like getting on TikTok, being with this, like everybody's got everything at this point. Like, I don't know what's worse. Like we're all owned by somebody at this point.
Yeah.
Right?
They all know everything.
Right. Unless you live like remotely in Montana, like in the woods. I just feel like somebody owns something of you. There's no escaping it at this point. Am I wrong about that?
No. I mean, especially now, now it's getting to the point. I mean, this isn't new, and I'm sure a lot of you have the same examples, but now it feels like when you think about things, you will see advertisements.
I do all the time. Things. This happens to me all the time, and it freaks me out.
It freaks me out so bad that is a thing. That you don't ever even say it out loud to anybody. You just think it. You don't search for it. You just think it. And then all of a sudden you're seeing ads. What?
Yeah, what is that? What is that? It's the cloud. Nobody understands the cloud.
It's so terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Also, I just thought this was kind of funny that this idiot is like posting this meme as if it makes any sense. I'm so confused. How do we know which immigrants we send back to their country and which ones we marry?
Oh my God. Like, how can you be that stupid? How can Dragon Lady? This isn't difficult. This is the thing. We're dealing with the dumbest people.
The dumbest. Which is why this election is not in the bag, not by a long shot, especially since they're rebranding Kamala into some cool chick, which we'll get to in a little bit.
This is the thing. It's like it goes back to the whole climate change. I'm just going to like decide what laws I want to follow and which ones I don't. Okay, then I don't want to pay my taxes.
Exactly.
How's that? Yeah.
Megan Rapinoe has a new podcast.
God, oh my God. That is just the worst news ever. Who listens to this broad?
I don't know. I just saw that and I was like, who is going to be her audience? But I guess there's stupid people who think she's great.
Do you guys know what Nix is?
I do not.
Nix is period panties. I find this really interesting that is, I'm assuming, the sponsor. Tapped by Nix, which is period panties. That's what they are.
Really?
I have a teenage daughter. Haven't bought those yet, but I mean, it's like, because I'm like, well, that's an interesting product. I just think it's interesting that, like, because we didn't have period panties back in the day. Right. We just used the things, right? But now they have panties that have like stuff built in, so you don't even have to use pads. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? But I find it interesting that it's a period panty company that's sponsoring her. It's a company that makes a product specifically for women.
And they are going to talk about keeping girls in sports.
Right. Do you see?
They don't even know what girls are.
This is what I'm saying. Like, it's like a product specifically for biological women.
Yeah.
They can't see what's happening. Can you see? You see where I'm going here? No, they're not disposable. You wash them, Kelly Sue. You wash them.
Personally, that sounds absolutely vile to me.
Isn't it? It's kind of weird. It is vile, right? I think it's kind of gross too, but this is what they're doing now. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Raina says it's a pull-up for teenage girls.
It is a pull-up for teenage girls. Yes, Raina.
Pull-up. Yes.
That's what it is. It's bizarre, but that's what they're doing now. Mm-hmm.
That is disgusting.
Yeah.
Also, Daisy wanted me to share this photo with everybody because
you guys have to see it.
Team sent it to us, and we were like, "Wow, the difference is extraordinary." Remember when we made fun of Matt when he did his speech at the GOP convention, and we were like, "What has he done?" And there were actually people in our audience who were like, "What? I mean, he's just like had makeup on his eyebrows." You guys,
this is not makeup. This is not okay.
That's bizarre. Like that is.
He's starting to look like a villain from The Incredibles. It's not okay. Somebody tell him. Somebody, like, if you have friends that love you, your friends will pull you aside and be like, you need to calm down.
Yeah, just don't.
You need to ixnay on the Otox Bay.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, just a little bit. Back
just
it down a few notches.
Dial it back. Okay. Plus, you're a dude. Come on.
No. Victoria Cummings, thank you. She says, so is Biden dead? Laura Loomer made a statement on it on X. Love you, chicks. I refuse to look at anything Laura Loomer says unless it's retweeted and I happen to see it. I don't think he's dead. I know that there was a lot of speculation about him, rightly so, because he didn't show his freaking face yesterday. But apparently his schedule indicates that he's going to be back today, and we'll apparently see him.
It's going to be like Weekend at Bernie's. They're just going to prop him up. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Mock may think that he's not dead. I have no idea because I don't trust anything that these people do.
Well, there's a lot of speculation about when he was in Vegas. There's many reports now suggesting that he had a medical emergency of some sort. Some people are taking it further and saying he had a TIA, kind of like I did. Where at first they thought it was a stroke, and then it was like all hands on deck, huge emergency. They were going to take him to the hospital, and then they were like, oh no, we can actually treat this on board the plane. It's a TIA. We don't have to a transient ischemic attack. We don't have to it's not as bad of an emergency as we thought, which still sounds absolutely crazy to me. Right. And so then they called off the whole hospital dogs. So I don't know about any of that, but that's all this is the rumor mill spinning, and I don't blame it for spinning because they won't freaking show his face.
Yeah. It's the most transparent administration in history, you guys.
Right.
So transparent. God, they're full of shit. These people
They really are.
They have just lied to us for years. Yeah.
They want all the conspiracy talk, and I don't understand why. It just makes them look incompetent even more than they already are.
Yeah.
But anyway. All right. And we'll get to all that in more detail, but we have to talk about the thing that we've been trying to talk about for the last 5 days. And that is the security failures. Sorry, my nose is itchy. The security failures that took place at the assassination attempt a week ago, Saturday in Butler, Pennsylvania. And so we're going to kind of show, there's so many clips, you guys, there's so many angles, and of course the hearing took place yesterday. So there's just a whole big bunch of stuff to get to when it comes to the story surrounding that and all of the things that went wrong. And I thought it was interesting. We would start out with Bill Maher actually asking Mayor Pete or Secretary Pete, if what's her name, Cheatle, if what's her name, sorry.
I was like, wait, yeah. Okay.
If Cheatle should have been fired, which I can't even believe that has to be a question anybody asks out loud. Of course. And so I like the way that Bill Maher talks about it, because Mayor Pete is like, well, you know how he is. Here's their exchange.
Biden have fired the Secret Service head. I mean, I don't understand that.
I'm not in on all the details of the Homeland Security side. I know there's a really serious after-action report and process and a whole lot of scrutiny going on there. I think, everything that led up to that moment, that horrible moment, is under a microscope. And I believe that President Biden and the administration will do the right thing.
But you didn't need a microscope to see it.
Right.
Yeah, but you also...
I was on the roof, like not that far away, with a rifle for a long time. I mean, I've seen people fired for less. And it just looks bad. It looks like, well, the other guy from the other party got shot. We'll look into it if we get time.
Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly what it looks like.
Right? I love that he said it.
Yeah. And Pete's like, well, I mean, I don't have the information. And I don't. Of course you don't. Nobody has the information, especially Cheatle.
Oh my God.
The whole thing yesterday was just such a scam. I was just like about ready to scream at my television.
But wasn't it so gloriously nonpartisan?
For the most part, because I mean, there was a lot of talk about gun control and guns that I could have done without. I was just like,
I didn't even pull any of that because I was just like, I don't give a crap about the people.
Yeah, I mean, there's the people who were on their pedestals about guns. I was like, can you just STFU? Because this is not what this is about. And so yeah, there was a lot of grandstanding about that I could have done without.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, I think they were like, wow, we can't dance around this ineptness. And the fact that you are completely useless. And that she's just sitting there like, not effing leaving. Again, with that.
It's amazing. Amazing. And we have so many clips to share from that.
Yeah.
But first, I wanted to show you guys a cool product that I just found on mypillow.com that I am going to order immediately. And that is, look at this adorable pajama set. It's like got so cropped little pants with a little tie and the drawstring. And it's like cute. That super that like slinky material that feels really good against your skin. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I like that.
I love the blue. And it comes in this blue and it comes in this. I don't know which color I'm going to get, but I want one of these colors. I like yeah. And look at the price that you get when you use code CHICKS. Normally $120, less than 30.
You guys
use code CHICKS at mypillow.com.
Start buying Christmas presents now. That's what I do. Seriously.
Yeah, stock up.
That's what I do.
And there's still so many things that are $25 or less right now because they're still having their super $25 extravaganza-thon. So, I mean, this is not in that $25 extravaganza-thon sale, but I saw how much this was marked down and I was like, sign me up for several pairs of those.
Yes.
Those look awesome. Amazing. Love. So, mypillow.com/ do it. All right, let's get back to it because Jesse Waters had Donald Trump and JD Vance on and was asking questions about what they had heard from Secret Service on that fateful day.
Monitoring this guy for an hour beforehand, no one told you not to take the stage?
No, nobody mentioned it. Nobody said there was a problem.
God.
And I would have waited for 15. They could have said, let's wait for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, something. Nobody said, I think that was a mistake. How did somebody get on that roof? And why wasn't he reported? Because people saw that he was on the roof. I mean, you had Trumpers screaming. The woman in the red shirt, she was screaming, there's a man on the roof. And then other people said, there's a man on the roof who's got a gun. And that was quite a bit before I walked onto the stage. So you would have thought somebody would have done something about it.
Yeah. You would have thought.
You would have thought. Oh I mean, when you look at the timeline, it's pretty extraordinary how long they did have their eye on that guy and just never bothered to think that he would be as much of a threat as he was. Never bothered to question him. It's the incompetence is insane.
Yeah, I think some of the incompetence, it's just my personal opinion, and you guys can disagree with me, but I think some of it was malicious. I just think it was malicious, and I think this woman, I think she's evil. I think Cheatle is just inept and just completely useless at her job. But there's a part of me that thinks some of this, I just feel like some of this was malicious intent. That's how I feel.
I mean, her entire attitude at the hearing yesterday definitely didn't help matters, right?
No.
She was so unwilling to be helpful or cooperative.
Right.
And because of that, because it's been 10 days now since anybody has gotten solid information from the very department that was in charge of securing him, the rumor mill is in full force. People come up with all kinds of theories. They create their own narratives because they don't have an official one. And that is what happens. So there was talk of like a second and third shooter. Dan Bongino wanted to put a little bit of those rumors to rest.
There were 3 different shooters. This is your home for breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, the third shot was from a local counter sniper team, a non-Secret Service counter sniper team, local police. They missed. That's the third shot. The truth has no agenda, okay? You stay here, you will stay on target. Stay in these other places, you're going to get misled, and we're going to make the same mistake we made in past things where people, folks, there are people out there who are listen to me, please. Please, I'm going to pause here. I need you to please trust me on this. There are people out there secreting themselves into our movement and feeding nuggets of information they know to be false. They're not us. They're doing it for a reason, to distract you from the truth. I don't know this guy's motive. Could this guy be working with other people? Maybe. I don't say what I don't know. I don't say also what I'm not going to eliminate that as a possibility because I have no evidence otherwise either. The third gunshots were from a local police department. You are going to get spun down the wrong path, and I'm absolutely convinced there are people doing it on purpose to discredit you. You do with that what you want.
I just thought that was an important take.
It is. It is an important take. I really like him.
I know.
And plus, he was a Secret Service guy.
Right. I mean,
so he knows what's what. Yeah. And he knows that things are just effed up, and that he just knows that everything is just completely screwed up now in that department.
And you cannot trust anything, really. I mean, you have to be super, super critical in thinking through and processing information that's out there, because there is so much, and some of it's true, some of it's not. And it's up to all of us sort of individually to figure out what we believe and what we don't, which is hard. And that's what this administration is so bad at. They get mad when there's mis and disinformation, and then they don't tell us anything. And so that's why there's mis and disinformation.
Yeah. And this whole,
no idea what's going on.
This whole, let me give you a report in 60 days.
Oh,
how about you suck it?
Right.
That is just not good enough. It's not. You should have had a report out before you were questioned yesterday.
And she was supposed to turn in a whole bunch of stuff that she didn't bother to do.
Right. She's just, I mean, the absolute worst.
Yeah.
And the arrogance of this woman is astounding to me. I just don't where do these people get their confidence in the fact that they suck? I don't my God, it's crazy.
I'm so glad I caught this. Doc Quixote said, sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's true. Hello.
It's so true.
Oh my God, that's my favorite comment of the day. I'm so glad I saw it. This is Representative Carlos, who was up on the roof to test out that whole. Remember how Cheatle had said, "Oh, well, we didn't have people up there because of the slope."
Oh yeah, it was very slopey. It's like the airplane seat. It's this and it's this. It's the airplane seat.
So this representative got up on the roof to show everybody the huge slope.
Oh yeah.
I'm standing in approximately the site where the shooter was. As you can see, I'm a 70-year-old man, and this roof is not a big deal.
Oh my God.
Somebody to tell me that Secret Service agents couldn't been here, that's crazy. So you can see that clear line to the president.
What the hell?
It's not a hard shot.
And then this next video, I think it was shot by Representative Crane. He was inside on that second floor where they actually had people positioned inside the building. And you can see now that there was a clear view to this rooftop. And so how he was not seen until people on the ground were screaming, I have no idea.
Or maybe he was.
Yeah, exactly. Watch. I mean, it's right. They're right there,
and it's a metal roof. I live in a barn. Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. I live in a barn dominium, you guys. So we have like a metal roof, okay? And the metal roof is very similar to that, where it's like a silver color. If anything is on the roof, you freaking see it,
right?
If there's a person on it, especially, you can see that person walking around, especially from far away, because it's like a beacon. It's like you cannot miss it. So This is why I'm sorry, I'm shaking my head going, of course you would have seen that. Of course.
It just seems very, very sketch. And then I was reminded of another incident that took place when Trump was speaking to a crowd of people where they suspected that guns had been fired off and Secret Service rushed him. And I had forgotten completely about this. I figured other people might have too. And it was just an interesting thing to see again.
Here's what happens. I will call up Carrier, the president, because I have to do it myself. I know it's not.
Please.
Thank you for the warning. I was ready for him, but it's much easier if the cops do it. Don't we agree? What a great job. What a great job. And to think I had such an easy life. What do I need this for, right?
Oh my God, he's so right.
But notice his gut instinct is to go towards it. You know what I mean? Is to
he like
square up.
his chest like puffs up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
no,
exactly.
Other people, myself included, would be on the ground.
Yeah. What would Chris Christie do?
I mean, the guy just.
Yeah,
there's
right.
No
they're platinum. They're titanium balls, you guys. Absolute titanium. I know.
Just
this
amazing.
is the thing.
Amazing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into the hearing because there's so many highlights. So if you didn't watch the hearing, you're in luck because we're going to give you every possible good morsel that you need. And actually, there was even more than this, and I just was like, I can't. It'll be a 4-hour show if we don't cut this down. So we cut it down, and now it's probably a 3-hour show. So
you guys are good for the next 4 hours, right?
You're good, right?
Yeah.
So we'll kick it off with James Comer, who was wanting to know if they ever had or intended to have a person on that roof.
At any point Saturday, did the Secret Service have an agent on top of that roof?
Sir, I'm sure as you can imagine that we are just 9 days out from this incident, and there's still an ongoing investigation. And so I want to make sure that any information that we are providing to you is factual.
You can't, okay. Why did the Secret Service not, can you answer why the Secret Service didn't place a single agent on the roof?
We are still looking into the advanced process and the decisions that were made.
Okay. The Secret Service use any drones for surveillance that day?
So again, I'm not going to get into specifics of that day in itself, but there are times
just a hearing
during a security plan that the Secret Service does deploy an asset like a drone.
There were reports that the shooter used a drone just a few hours before the rally start time. Is that accurate?
I have heard those same reports, and again, am waiting for the final report.
Do you know, if you can't answer the question, that's your answer. But can you answer this? Do you know? I'm not asking yes or no, but do you know if the shooter used a drone before the shooting?
That information has been passed to us from the FBI.
God, she's completely useless and so completely unlikable.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's just remarkable how she, I know nothing. Really? Okay.
And then Don Jr. said, just to underscore how crazy this all is, I was once prevented flying my own drone off the beach at Mar-a-Lago because my father was inside the house. Now we have one literally scouting his speech.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like rules and regulations with drones, but I guess not with this kid, not with this 20-year-old.
Right.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Also, I want to point out there's a lot of people that have been saying this, and I just want to make sure that they're heard. But when you are on a metal roof, yes, you can hear it from inside the house. It's loud.
Oh,
it's loud. I mean, my God, when rain, we have a little cabin too that has a metal roof. You sit inside the cabin. If it rains, it's like loud as hell. So yes, you would have heard the kid too on top of the roof. So I have so many questions.
Well, if you had been at the hearing yesterday, not a single one of them would have been answered.
Exactly. None of them would have, because she was like, well, I'm just going to show up to this hearing and just not answer anything. Mm-hmm. She wasn't prepared. She apparently didn't know anything, which you know she does. Either she's, at least that's what I think, she's just stonewalling everybody.
Totally stonewalling. And and all the Congress people, regardless of party, were getting super fed up with it.
Yep.
This with Jim Jordan, this little clip with Jim Jordan, this was early on in the day. And people just get madder and madder. Here is Jim Jordan.
You know what it looks like, Director? It looks like you won't answer some pretty basic questions. It looks like you got a 9% raise and you cut corners when it came to protecting one of the most important individuals, most well-known individuals on the planet. A former president, likely the guy who's going to be the next president. Looks like you guys were cutting corners. That's what it looks like to me.
And he's right.
Nice. She got a 9% raise. She probably gave herself that raise. Or Mayorkas did, somebody on that useless team.
But as we mentioned, like the anger and frustration was absolutely nonpartisan. So here's Representative Moskowitz, who actually compared this hearing to the one that ended up getting the Harvard president fired, that amazing testimony that was given by those university heads who could not answer any questions. He compared it to that. And of course, she had no idea what he was talking about.
Director, I just want to give you an honest assessment of how this is going for you today. Did you happen to catch the hearing many months ago in education where there were a bunch of university presidents and Elise Stefanik asked a very easy question and couldn't get an answer? Did you see that hearing?
No, I don't think I did.
Okay, well, let me tell you, it didn't go well. And the short end of that story was those university professors all resigned. They're gone. That's how this is going for you. This is where this is headed, okay? This is, I don't know who prepared you for this. I don't know how many times you've testified in front of Congress, but a president was almost assassinated live on television, not just for Americans, but for the world to see. And this being your first opportunity, I understand there's an ongoing investigation. I understand there's things that you can not talk about, but the idea that we're getting less than you did on television is something that Democrats, Independents, or Republicans are going to find unacceptable. There's going to be accountability. I understand you don't want to give us names. When you say that, are you telling the committee that once it's concluded, you're prepared to fire the people on the ground who made poor decisions that day?
I'm prepared to take the actions necessary.
No, that's nonsense. Okay. Accountability. The failure was human. That doesn't mean they're bad people. It means they failed that day, and a former president was almost assassinated. Okay. Are you prepared to fire the human failure on the ground? Yes or no? When you have the names of where those failures were, they're people. It's not like a piece of technology failed. It was people who failed that day. Are you prepared to fire them?
I don't have an answer as to whether
Well, then how can there be accountability if you're not prepared to fire someone? And the reason why your name is going to be the person who's held accountable, the reason why members in this committee are calling for resignation, and I join in that, or for the president to fire you, is because you're saying there's going to be accountability, but you can't commit that people are going to get fired.
And not only do I want her fired, I want her to have no pension.
That's
because these asshats get fired and we still have to pay for their retirements. And they're set for life.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but F that. I'm so sick of this garbage. Why do I have to pay for her retirement when I have to still pay for my own? Seriously, that's bullshit. She should be fired. All these people that were inept at their jobs should be fired. No pensions. None.
I wish that was a thing, but that is not a thing.
Well, then somebody needs to make it a thing. If there's a congressperson that's listening to me right now, make it a thing. Like, I'm tired. I'm so tired of this crap. Like, these people get set up for life and at our expense. She should not get a pension. Oh my God. It's disgraceful that we have to pay for her.
Will. I just want everybody to brace themselves for the fact that she will, even if she's fired.
My God.
She's going to continue to get all the things. It's just, it sucks, but this is the way that our freaking government works, which is why we need less of it, which is why we're all conservative.
So gross.
Christy Popovich, thank you. She says, finally catching COTR live, usually in my tool belt. Appreciate you, ladies. Thank you for that. Alexandra says, my favorite part of the hearing was watching the Republicans coming with receipts and extra pairs of giant balls while the Democrats cried. Cheatle needs to go. Ken Marin, thank you. Ken says, one thing that is a fact in my high opinion of the Secret Service is gone. Love the chicks. I mean, it's hard not to have a complete mistrust now of their ability.
They're just like the FBI and the CIA, right? I mean, it's all the three-letter organizations I don't really have a lot of respect for anymore.
And Leah, hi Leah. Leah says, as someone in the middle of a war with lots of drones, yes, you can easily hear them, she says. Representative Lynch asked about the rangefinder. If you guys hadn't heard, the shooter actually got in to the rally with a rangefinder. You know, they checked their bags, and in the bag, they found a rangefinder, and they were like, yeah, this is fine. So Representative Lynch was asking about that, and here is the response.
Did he have a rangefinder? There were some reports that the individual had a rangefinder. That would certainly raise my suspicion. Did he have a rangefinder?
Yes, he did. But may I explain that at a number of our sites, especially when you're at outdoor venues, a rangefinder is not a prohibited item.
Awful. That's great. That's fantastic. That seems completely normal.
Maybe it should be. You know, it's just I don't know. I'm not an expert on security. I mean, I didn't, like the guy said, guard Doritos for a living before becoming Secret Service director. But, you know, maybe that should be something you're concerned about.
Just feel like it could be added to a list of things that maybe would necessitate just a line of questioning. You know what I mean? Just a few more questions.
Yeah.
My God. Ro Khanna, also Democrat, also completely fed up and completely caught her in not knowing Secret Service history, which was hilarious. Watch this.
Event. Now, Director Cheatle, would you agree that this is the most serious security lapse since President Reagan was shot in 1981 of the Secret Service?
Yes, sir, I would.
And, you know, do you know what Stuart Knight did when he was in charge at the time of the Secret Service? Do you know what he did afterwards?
He remained on duty.
He resigned. And Stuart Knight was not a Democratic appointee or a Republican appointee. Look, I'm not questioning your judgment. I just don't think this is partisan. If you have an assassination attempt on a president, a former president, or a candidate, you need to resign. Director,
this should not be hard.
Why is this bitch not leaving?
I don't know.
I don't get it. I mean, excuse my language, but honestly, like what? She's sitting there and everybody's telling her, you have to go. Why? Why is she not leaving?
Imagine being that, having that much of an ego,
right?
And that arrogant.
Yeah, I can't imagine it. I can't, Mock. I cannot imagine it. Like, there's just, wow. I cannot imagine being that kind of a person where you're sitting there and you know you were responsible for this. The buck stops with me, but I'm not even leaving.
Right.
How are you that person? I just don't get it.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying Mayorkas set the standard for that, right? I mean, she's following his lead. He knows that he has completely been in charge of a failed border, and he's not leaving. Doesn't matter. They impeach him. They try to impeach him. They tell him to resign. Nothing. He is
zero self-awareness, and this just shows you how corrupt our government is.
Yeah,
she is a shining example of how corrupt they are.
Representative Krishnamurthy was at, I have no idea if I'm saying that right, but his line of questioning was about when the Secret Service actually realized, oh crap, we've got this gunman, and oh look, there he is up on the roof, and oh, it looks like he's holding a rifle. His line of questioning was, at any point, did the Secret Service consider maybe pausing the rally and making sure Trump never went out onto the stage? Here is that Q&A.
Cheatle, yes or no? Was there ever a moment where the Secret Service actually considered pausing the rally?
The Secret Service would have paused the rally had they known or been
So the
told
answer is
there
no.
was an actual threat.
The answer is no.
How many?
If there was an actual how much more of a threat do you need than a guy lying on a roof with a rifle?
Right. It's crazy. I mean, this is why I go back to, I just think that she knew more than she's saying that she knew, Yeah. And it's another reason why I think she's like, I'm not leaving, because I think that there's just so much more that we don't know about this. That's how I feel about it. You guys can call me a conspiracy theorist, but that's just how I feel about it. It's just a gut feeling, because why, listen, she's at the top. She's not leaving. There's this whole notion of I think she feels protected in some way. Why else would she be saying? She obviously feels protected. Somebody's protecting her. Otherwise,
and apparently it's Mayorkas, right? I mean, who else could it be?
Obama and friends. I mean, it's like there are other people out there there's got to be a whole cabal of people that are just protecting her. I just can't. Otherwise, she has got to feel so alone in that. I just can't imagine another human being being so confident and arrogant in this line of questioning. And yesterday, what happened, just the way she presented herself, it was just bizarre to me. All of it's so bizarre.
It is crazy. Representative Cloud asked about the number of shells found, the shell casings found on the roof where the shooter was. Even something as simple as that, they could not get an answer on.
Spent shell casings were found on the roof.
Again, I would have to defer you to the FBI's criminal investigation.
Okay.
How do you not know something that basic? Why does that need to be referred? Oh my God.
Right.
What in the world?
I mean, I would know this stuff.
This doesn't need to be deferred to the FBI.
No, this is, my God.
It's insane. And then Representative Cloud went further, because now there's this internal investigation happening that she keeps talking about still 10 days later. And he's like, so wait, like you guys are investigating yourselves? Like, how is that supposed to inspire confidence?
Right.
There seems to be more information from YouTube videos than you're able to provide for us. And it begs the question to anyone, you're in charge of the investigation of your own failure. So how is anybody in America supposed to be able to trust the results of that investigation as being anything transparent and genuine?
That's the last question, but please feel free to answer the question, Director.
Sir, I've been a Secret Service agent for nearly 30 years.
No one
I
cares.
have led with integrity, and I follow our core values of duty, justice, honor, loyalty, and courage. And I am doing that in this case, and I assure this committee that I will provide answers when we have a full and complete report.
I'm sorry.
In 60 days.
Yeah. It's a bunch of crap.
Wow. You know how many more attempts there could be in 60 days?
Oh my God. Yeah, it's insane.
Wow.
I need 2 more months.
Right?
To give you information that's already, like he said, that's already coming out in YouTube videos.
Yes.
God, lady.
It's freaking crazy. Ivania Castle says so many lost their jobs and pensions for not getting the jab. Maybe they plotted an assassination. GTFO, WTF, God help us.
You're right about that, though. I mean, this is why I say just like get rid of these people's pensions, get rid of their like Mac Daddy benefits. It's such bullcrap that we have to pay for any of these people's anything. You know what? We pay for our own crap. You pay for your own crap.
Well, Anastasia 63 says Cheatle did stay at a Holiday Inn last night.
Oh, well, I mean, that's great.
Qualified.
That's great.
And Uriel Gonzalez says, I'm not resigning because DEI is more important than anything else. That's why Kamala has to be the next president. Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff, a lot of chitter chatter about DEI. We'll get to that too.
And Mock, we paid for that Holiday Inn.
That's true. That's true. This exchange was probably one of my favorites because it's like the one where you're just like, you can't even believe what you're hearing, how dumb she can be. And this guy can't either. So this is Representative Connolly, and he's trying to get an answer. Now, granted, he's like one of the anti-gun fanatics.
He was the gun guy. He was the guy that went on a gun rampage, and then he was like, and then my guy got hit with a bat after the gun didn't work or something. And I'm like, you just proved your own point that it's not about the guns. Like, this guy got on my nerves. He got on my last nerve, this dude.
I don't have that part, but this part is when he's simply trying to get her to say whether or not guns being freely available make the Secret Service job harder. And granted, the first way that he asked the question was in such a weird, he phrased it so weird, it was impossible to understand how to answer it, yes or no. But then it just got ridiculous.
I'm not understanding your question.
Real simple. More guns, especially dangerous ones, have made your job protecting people easier. Is that not right?
I think from every
Director Cheatle, this is simple English. More guns, do they make your job more complicated or less complicated in protecting these 36 clients and visiting heads of state and heads of government that come to Washington?
I think the Secret Service needs to take into account.
I didn't ask that.
That
I'm sorry. I asked a simple question, which deserves a simple answer. The ubiquity of guns, dangerous weapons in America, like AR-15s, has that made your job, that is to say the mission of the Secret Service, easier or more difficult?
I think the threat environment for protecting our Secret Service protectees is always difficult, and that's dynamic, and it's always evolving.
We stipulate it's always difficult. Again, this is a simple one. Does the ubiquity of guns make your job easier or more difficult today?
I understand the Second Amendment rights of individuals.
I didn't ask that question. I'm not questioning the Second Amendment. I'm asking a simple analysis, Director Cheatle. And I can tell you, you're not making my job easier in terms of assessing your qualification for continuing on as director. Please answer the question. You're the head of the Secret Service. You're speaking on behalf of 8,000 members who put their lives on the line. We just had a failure by your own admission. Do guns make your job easier or harder?
I think the job of the Secret Service is difficult on every day, and we need to make sure that we are mitigating all threats, whether that be weapons,
isn't my question.
personnel.
That is not my question.
Your
and
question's
now
stupid.
I think you're evading the answer.
His question really is stupid.
It really is stupid, but I enjoyed that.
Do your guns make it harder? Or he's just so, this guy.
I know.
That guy was a colossal moron, and all he cared about was, let's talk about guns and how bad they are. Can we talk about how bad? So many of the Democrats wanted to talk about that. And I was like, are you effing kidding me with this? That's what we're going to talk about? Just shut up. Like, take all the seats. Go sit at the kid table. God, the adults are trying to talk. I can't with him.
And unexpectedly, AOC was one of the adults who actually asked some really good questions, like questions that actual normal people have. It was shocking to be like, yeah, AOC, that's a great question, but it really was.
The individual used an AR-15 in order to act out his assassination attempt. An AR-15 has a range of about 400 to 600 yards. My question is, why does the Secret Service perimeter, why is the Secret Service protective perimeter shorter than one of the most popular semi-automatic weapons in the United States?
There are a number of weapons out there with a number of ranges. An advance was completed. The determination of the perimeter, I'm not going to speak to specifics, but there are a number of factors that are taken into account when we determine our perimeter. Some of it has to do with terrain, some of it has to do with buildings, some of it has to do with assets and resources that are available.
And so what I'm hearing is that a perimeter was not established outdoors in an outdoor venue that would prevent an AR-15, which is one of the most common weapons used in mass shootings, from being able to be within the range of Secret Service protection.
perimeter was established, and even though there were buildings that were outside of that perimeter, it wasn't just that building, there were a number of buildings in the area, and there was overwatch that was created to help mitigate some of those buildings.
There was overwatch. You feel better?
No, this woman is a complete moron.
Yeah, she absolutely is. That right there was a fail. I mean, that's the failure, right? Is that they were just like, yeah, we don't need to. This building is fine. It's fine.
My God, I cannot believe this woman is in charge of the Secret Service.
Still.
Yeah, I know. Still, you're right.
And we have so much more, so many more good sound bites to come. Here's Representative Biggs.
Was Mr. Crooks acting alone?
Again, I would have to refer you to the FBI's investigation.
Was he just a lone gunman?
I would have to refer you to the FBI's investigation.
She would have to do that.
That was probably the most stunning part for me, because if he was not, there's no reason for her not to just simply be able to say he was acting alone.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's a very good point, Mock. A very, very good point.
That really rattled me, because when I was like, why would she not answer this question immediately? Like, to me, that says clearly he wasn't, and the investigation is going to show who else was involved. But like, what? She's not going to answer that?
It's like but she answered nothing yesterday. Absolutely nothing. Jack squat.
Oh my God.
Zero confidence in this administration. You know? It's, my God.
Nancy Mace.
She was awesome.
Mace. I've cut this obviously because she used up every last second of her 5 minutes to absolutely be a pit bull against this ridiculous woman. And so I've tried to, clip the very best bits, but she was not having any of Cheatle's nonsense.
Really, none of the Republican women were yesterday. The Republican women were the ones who came out and just shredded her. That's what I saw yesterday.
Question. Both sides of the aisle today have asked for your resignation. Would you like to use my 5 minutes to draft your resignation letter? Yes or no?
No, thank you.
Was this a colossal failure?
It was a failure.
Yes or no? Was it a colossal failure is the question. Yes or no?
I have admitted this is a
This is a yes or no series of questions. Was this a colossal failure? Yes or no?
Yes.
Was this tragedy preventable? Yes or no?
Yes.
You're full of shit today. You're just being completely dishonest.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman,
I want to.
Come on.
We have to maintain decorum in this committee,
no
matter how
you
upset
provided
we
any
get.
and all memos to this committee that we've asked you on July 15th? Have you provided all memorandums within the Secret Service?
I would have to get back to you on
that. Is a no. You are being dishonest or lying. You're being dishonest here with this committee. These are important questions that the American people want answers to, and you're just dodging and talking around it in generalities. And we had to subpoena you to be here, and you won't even answer the questions. We have asked you repeatedly to answer our questions. This isn't hard. How many Secret Service personnel have lost their jobs due to this colossal failure?
0. At this time, none.
How many Secret Service personnel have been required to take a refresher course on how not to let people shoot Donald Trump?
Our personnel are currently operational.
They're operational, you guys. You feel good?
Yeah. Everybody feels a lot better. Yeah, she was freaking awesome. I love it. Decorum, we need decorum. Where's decorum? And she's like, bullshit, shit, you're full of shit. Yeah.
Melanie Stansberry, I feel like this is how I would love to believe that I would question her like Nancy Mace, maybe without the S-bombs, but although it's me, so I probably would throw those.
I would have totally been Nancy Mace. I would have been Nancy Mace, like at the nth degree, which is why I don't do what she does. This is because I have no decorum.
But I think I would be more like Melanie Stansberry.
You would be.
Who is just so frustrated that she's getting like hysterical.
Yeah, you would
This
be.
would be me.
So the American people want to know, how did a 20-year-old young man with access to a military-style weapon actually bring it on to an unsecured perimeter who for days had been planning a mass shooting event. And I think that, Madam Director, with all due respect, the answers that we've received here in this hearing today are completely unsatisfactory.
And they were.
Yeah. I mean, why would she give her any respect? There is no respect due, which is, there's none, which is why I liked Nancy Mace's line of questioning better.
Then you definitely liked Pat Fallon's too. He's from Texas, and he was not having it either.
It is a miracle President Trump wasn't killed.
Yep.
Corey Compatore's life is over because that damn shooter made it on the roof. And it wasn't the roof that was dangerous. It was a nut job on top of the roof. You know what else is dangerous? I believe your horrifying ineptitude and your lack of skilled leadership is a disgrace. Your obfuscating today is shameful. And you should be fired immediately and go back to Garden Doritos. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
I freaking love him. I love everything about that. Garden Doritos.
That was glorious.
It was so great.
Glorious. Then there was Byron Donalds, who tried, to his credit, he came into the hearing trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. That did not last.
Some of my colleagues have texted me over the last couple days, bipartisan, about whether you should lose your job. And I've been quiet on that question because I wanted to see what you were going to do today. In my opinion, you do need to be fired immediately.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not?
There's so much unison on this. It's unity,
listen,
you guys.
And the buck stops at Biden at this point. Biden should have fired.
Who knows where he is?
God only. If he's still with us, we don't know. But I mean, this is the thing. The buck stopped at him. He should have fired her immediately. He should.
Representative Burchett, another one who has just had it.
Cheatle, you said that the buck stops with me, and I agree. I don't think you should resign. I think you should have been fired. Ma'am, you are a DEI horror story. I've told my daughter multiple times, my wife and my daughter, we talk to her all the time about how she's going to succeed in life. She'll succeed in life by achieving. Ma'am, you have not achieved today. You've let the American public down. If it was up to me, you'd be gone. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Damn straight. Yeah, I've talked to my daughter about this too. And I'm like, this is not how you do it. She makes all of us look bad. You go out there and you work harder than any man is what you do. And you bust your ass. You don't do what this chick has done. You don't rest on your laurels and be like, well, I'm a woman, so I'm going to get the job. I have lady parts, so I'm going to get the job. No, bullcrap. That's not what you do. This woman is a disgrace to women.
And apparently, Representative Anna Paulina Luna thought that she was catching her in some lies on the stand. And so she was like, I'd like to take care of that.
Chairman, in my opinion, according to some of the testimony today, I feel that you have perjured yourself in some instances. And so I'm going to ask for a full review of the transcripts by staff. And if you find that to be the case, I do ask that you bring perjury charges against the director. I will say this, it is very frustrating, and I've talked to my colleagues and we've said it to your face, that you have been up here basically stonewalling our ability to get the answers to the American people. And what I will also say is that every single member of Congress does not feel safe with you in charge. You have heard that, and I think that we are all sitting ducks with you in directing the Secret Service currently.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So awesome.
Love it.
And then Representative McClain, man, she was another bulldog. She was furious. And so she went off.
Supposed to be in charge. If the buck stops with you, how come you can't share the answers? What are you covering up? What are you hiding, my friend?
I'm not covering anything up.
Then why can't you answer a simple question?
I would leave it to the criminal investigation to answer questions related to that.
When you talk to the FBI and you ask them how many explosives, well, let me ask you, did you ask them how many explosives were on the roof? Did they answer that question? Or in the car, excuse me. Did they answer that question for you?
Yes.
Yes. So you know the answer to that question that my colleagues have asked you. But again, you refuse to give us the answers. You're playing this wasn't me. Well, I submit to you, if you
The
can't,
glasses are off.
and it's not a can't, it's a won't. It's not a can't. It's not a I don't know. It's a I choose not to answer the question. Well, let me tell you, Ms. Cheatle, if you're going to lead, you need to lead. If you want to be in charge, then answer the question or step aside and have someone with the courage and the guts to answer to the American people the questions that they deserve answers to. And with that, I yield back.
I mean, like that, taking her glasses off is like taking your hoop earrings off when you're about ready to throw down. That's what, you know what I'm saying, ladies? Yep.
She was ready, man.
She was ready.
Jesse Kelly at about 12:30 had posted this, and I normally would have agreed with him because this is how all hearings go, right? He said these are the steps. The system does something horrible. Republicans have a hearing. The system locks shields, doesn't answer anything. When it's time for funding, the very same system bullies Republicans into funding them. Return to step one, rinse and repeat, and so on.
It's true.
And that is usually how it goes. But it was interesting to see that both Comer and Raskin, you know, opposite sides of the aisle, both submitted a letter asking for her resignation. And then further, Congressman Stubbe, I'm not sure if that's how you say it, said he was going to be filing articles of impeachment against her yesterday afternoon. So I do think that they are moving. You know what I mean? Like they're doing some things. And then this whistleblower report came out from Josh Hawley yesterday afternoon saying that some of the law enforcement personnel were stationed to the roof, but it was too hot.
Oh, wasn't too hot there? Have they ever been to Texas? Oh my God.
You even?
No. I can't.
What the hell? Oh my God.
Well, then every single person that said it's too hot, they also need to be fired without pensions. God, what a bunch of pansies.
I know.
You
I
kidding
could not
me?
believe that. Could not believe it.
My God.
And then just to cap this off, we have JP Sears, who is playing a Secret Service agent along with a fellow actor. And this is perfect.
We're agents Cletus and Spinetti, U.S. Secret Service. Hey, Spinetti, what do you think of this building 150 yards from the podium with a ladder affixed to the back of it?
150 yards? We should consider that outside of the 500-yard perimeter.
Copy that.
My God. It looks like this roof has a pretty clear line of sight going straight to the podium. You think we should station someone up there?
Negative. The director said the roof is way too sloped. She considers it too dangerous for agents whose job it is to take a bullet for the president.
What is that, about a 10-degree angle?
It's actually 5 degrees. So no agents up there. Instead, she wants them up there on that roof with a 30-degree slope.
Roger that. So any agents stationed on the ground over by the ladder of that building?
No, that building 150 yards from the stage is outside of our 500-yard perimeter.
Ah, big numbers. Copy that. Now, in the unlikely event that there is a disruption, what's going to be our exit strategy for the president?
I think we'll just kind of feel it out in the moment, see what's up then.
Oh, go with the flow, kind of like a Taoism?
Exactly. Kind of rise to the occasion kind of thing. All right, we're all secure here. It's a good day for a rally.
Cletus, we've got reports of a man with a rifle near Building 3.
Copy that. I'll get eyes on him in about 30 minutes.
Right here, right on the roof. Cletus, we're now being informed by 37 eyewitnesses that the man is climbing atop Building 3 with a device shaped similarly to a rifle.
What, is he hunting?
Probably. There's a lot of whitetail in the area.
All right, well, just report back to me. Let me know if he gets a deer.
Oh my God.
That's what it feels like.
So true. Legit what happened.
Oh my gosh. It does definitely feel like that.
Listen, it's nice that we can joke about it, but there's a dude that lost his life too.
And two people that are still recovering.
And 2 people recovering. And then listen, Trump almost lost his life. So I just, my God, the ineptness. I can't.
I know. Casa Donata says, Daisy, I agree. There was a nefarious plan by the deep state and she is part of it. She is being told to shut up.
I actually believe that. Yes.
Stuart the Brit says, if the Patriots in the crowd had guns, that shooter would not got even on the roof.
They would, if the Patriots in the crowd actually were able to bring guns in, the shooter wouldn't have made it on the roof.
Okay. Got it. Okay. I'm right there. Okay. Got it. Paula Johnson says that former director eventually resigned, but he did remain for about a month. So technically she was not wrong. So is she saying that she's going to resign in a month? Is that what she's waiting for the report to see how bad of a failure she was, and then she'll resign?
I'm sure they're going to transfer her to another cush government job, and she's going to get more Mac Daddy benefits and a great pension. And she's going to live happily ever after and get paid a shit ton of money. This is what they do, right? I mean, it's unreal.
Pamela Carpenter, thank you so much. Pamela says, let's remember Kamala was not vetted, appointed, not elected. Soros fingerprints all over this. Yes, let's get into that now. Since we've finally been able to cover the hearing and all of the security lapse hullabaloo, let's get into what's happening with our election, because man, is it ever borked. Want to be clear that the first couple clips you're about to see are AI, okay? KJP, this starts real. But as you'll see, it turns less real and hilarious.
I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith, and some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these the right-wing critics of the president have a credibility problem because of the fact checkers have repeatedly caught them pushing misinformation, disinformation. Take, for instance, this video where the president is clearly trying to pick up a quarter that he found, multiple quarters. He probably found multiple quarters and he wanted to pick them all up. But Republicans just keep lying. I mean, the president just loves picking up quarters from the ground, you know? And President Obama is not ignoring Joe in this video. They're actually playing a game where they pretend like they can't hear each other. Totally normal stuff, you guys. And he's not asleep in this video, you guys. He's just practicing his deep meditation. Oh, and this time he didn't shit his pants. He just saw a Japanese guy and decided to say hi in Japanese. Okay, this time he thought he saw a tiger and wanted to protect the group of world leaders, you know. So even though everyone treats him like he's retarded, he's not actually retarded, okay? That is misinformation. Thank you.
Oh my God, I can't.
It sounded exactly like her, you guys.
It
totally freaked me out. Totally freaked me out. No,
right
she
wingers
did not say all that.
Those right wingers and their cheap fakes. Shame on them.
There's also, just to make sure everybody knows, this is also AI. Okay, this next video also AI.
My fellow Americans, I want to take a moment to address some of the hateful shit you've been talking about me. Many of you have said I am suffering from brain worms, or that I have applesauce for brains. Well, I won't mince words, so here it is. Fuck you. You're all a bunch of faggots. End of quote. Repeat the line. So enjoy President Cackles or President Booty Juice. I really don't give two fucks anymore. Biden out.
I got so excited when I saw that video going around because I was like, oh, there he is.
Oh, he's alive. Look at him. He's alive. No proof. We don't have proof of life. No proof of life. Just a letter, Mock. Just a letter on X that he didn't write. He didn't write it.
Right. If you're a Gen Xer like we are and you lived for must-see TV on Thursdays, which included like the Frasier, the Seinfeld, the Friends. All of it. I mean, it was like must-see TV every Thursday. Then you will remember the scene from Seinfeld, the episode where they all placed a bet to see who would last longest without pleasuring themselves.
Right.
You guys remember that?
I do remember that. I do. It was classic.
I'm out.
It was like 5 minutes.
What? Yeah, I'm out of the contest. You're out? Yeah.
Wow, that was fast.
Remember, I was master of your domain. Remember, you guys?
I'm queen of the castle.
I loved it.
Best show ever. Seriously.
So great.
So yeah, there's a lot of people chitter-chattering about where the heck Joe Biden is. And so yesterday, his schedule was released where it said, or I'm sorry, this was 2 days ago now. This was on the 21st. His schedule for the week was released and there was absolutely nothing on it. And the fact that he put out the letter on Twitter and then had no plans, even though the letter said, oh yeah, I'm going to tell you more about this decision this week. And then for there to be no plans on the schedule was pretty alarming. And then came the weirdly timed doctor's letter from his personal physician saying he's doing great, you guys. He just had his 10th dose of Paxlovid. His symptoms are almost gone. He's doing great. He's still being president, and I'll keep you updated. Right. So you would think that he would just get on freaking camera. Right?
Yes. If everything is great and his lungs are clear and he feels good, then why wouldn't he be on camera?
This is the question. And so
yeah.
Martha McCallum had Eric Swalwell on to discuss this.
Yeah.
He is the literal worst. The literal worst.
None of this is that big a surprise. I mean, we're told that he like 9 months went by without a cabinet meeting. And that when there were cabinet meetings, they were somewhat scripted. I mean, the things that are coming out now about how what we were told on the outside of, oh, he's fine, he runs circles around everyone. Clearly were not what was happening behind the scenes. And now, Karine Jean-Pierre, we thought we were going to get a press briefing today on this monumental decision that happened not even 24 hours ago. No press conference today, but she's going to go on The View tomorrow. Just for the American people, Eric, what should they think about all of this? A lot of people go, this is crazy. Where is he?
Well, they should think that for the past 43 months, he hasn't had any cabinet controversies. They're not meeting, apparently. No one from Donald Trump's cabinet.
You don't have controversies if you tell everybody what to say when they walk in the room.
Get him, Martha. Get him.
That is the excuse he went with.
That's it. That's the excuse he went with. I know.
Oh my God.
I was watching that live yesterday and I was just like, I cannot believe that guy even agreed to go on Fox. Like, I guess I should give him some props for that because she just destroyed him in that interview.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He's what a
weirdo.
That guy is such a loser. Yeah. He's just no idea. Yeah. And the fact that they're now saying that it's just so selfless. He's such a hero.
Right.
This is what they're propping. Like the PR and did we not call it? I mean, we said a week or so ago, we said this is, and then they're going to totally reinvent Kamala. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's crazy, you guys.
Thankfully, some journalists, even this one, is asking questions that need to be asked. Of course, not getting straight answers, but she was asking Adam Schiff, like, if he's not well enough to run, how is he well enough to be president? And you can just imagine the answer.
You are sufficiently concerned that you came out publicly and said he shouldn't run. How do you justify him serving as president right now if he doesn't have the competence to run?
Yeah, Adam.
Well, my concern was whether he would be able to win, whether he'd be able to prosecute the case against Donald Trump. I have every confidence in his abilities as president and his ability to continue doing the remarkable job that he's doing. But I am very excited to throw my full support behind the vice president.
Okay, so what he just said was campaigning is harder than being the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
that's what he said.
Is that because when you're a Democrat president, you're not actually the president? You got a bunch of other people running the country for you because that's what it is on their side. Wow, he's just a face. That's all he's ever been. It's just a face. It's like he's a puppet. I mean, he is a puppet. It's gross.
He's vile man, vile man. Osuki over on Local says, I'd like to express my feelings toward Cheatle. And then there's like an icon of an image, but I can't see it. So I know
it's probably poop.
So those don't come through for some reason on the tips. So pictures, I can't see what you sent, but thank you very much. Michelle Archer, thank you. She says, did Obama or Clinton put you up to this? That was at 9:13. I'm not sure the you that she was referring to.
Yeah.
But thank you for that.
Well, it was probably Cheatle.
You think it was? I feel like we got
Obama or Clinton.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was. I don't know.
If super stickers, we're never going to catch them in real time, so try to be specific when you can, because otherwise we have no idea. That same interview that we showed earlier of JD Vance and Donald Trump, this is with Jesse Waters again, and this is on whether they think Joe is able to serve.
You'd investigate the people that hid Joe Biden's condition?
Well, I think somebody has to look at it. Look, you had people that lied to the American public, and I'll tell you what, you ought to take a look at his doctors, because his doctors keep giving him this wonderful report. I'm not a doctor, But I saw him the other day, was unable to get up the children's stairs going into Air Force One.
Is it a coup against Joe Biden?
Sort of, yeah.
I think it is. I mean, look, there's a constitutional process, the 25th Amendment. If Joe Biden can't run for president, he can't serve as president. And if they want to take him down because he's mentally incapable of serving, invoke the 25th Amendment. You don't get to sort of do this in the most politically beneficial way for Democrats. If it's an actual problem, they should take care of it in the appropriate way.
He's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you got Obama saying, we're just going to figure out a process. That's not how it works, bucko.
And he seems to be the last holdout because everybody's rallied. Everybody's coalesced around Kamala.
Yeah.
And he hasn't.
Like, yeah. He and Michelle are like, I don't like the black lady.
I don't know what's going on
like
because
her.
literally everybody is. I mean, like it's gotten to the point where yesterday it just seemed like a foregone conclusion that she will be the nominee.
Right.
And I wouldn't be surprised because of that if even as early as this week or next, you do see that Zoom call of the delegates solidifying her position as the Democrat nominee.
Perhaps, unless they do some sort of weird open convention and he just like throws everything off. I wouldn't put it past Obama to screw everything up because he is the puppet master. Right? He's the orchestrator of all of this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Pence released a statement. And I was so
Pence.
I was so annoyed. Like I just was like, why are you so
here still? Why are you here? Why are you still
and he's still the same
wishy-washy. He does this a lot with his thumb.
Well, this is a written statement, so I don't know. If he did
it was written. He was doing it while he was writing, though. With his left hand, he was writing. He was doing this.
But I mean, it's just so like milk toasty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is what he said. President Joe Biden made the right decision for our country, and I thank him for putting the interests of our nation ahead of his own.
Mike? Why would you do that?
After the attempt on President Trump and President Biden's decision to end the campaign, now is the time for leaders in both parties to project calm and send a message of strength and resolve to America's friends and enemies alike that whatever the state of our politics, the American people are strong and our military stands ready to defend our freedom and our vital national interests anywhere in the world. I don't know why that irritated me, but it just did.
Oh, it irritates the crap out of me.
Okay, good.
It's so like canned.
And I just didn't want him to thank the president.
Why would
he deserves no thanks.
He didn't do anything. He didn't put my interests above his own. At no time has Joe Biden ever put my interests and my family's interests above his own. Ever. So shut up, Mike.
I know.
That's never happened.
Oh my God.
Like, I know. This is like, why do these people do this? Why do they do this? And I think he thinks that makes him sound good. And like, it's like, we're all like going to get together. We're going to sing Kumbaya. We're going to join hands. No, that's not helpful. This guy is a self-serving asshat. That's all he's ever been. And now he's a puppet. They like, once he became like Dementia Joe, then they took advantage of him. This party is all in it for themselves. They're a bunch of commies. That's what he needs to say, but he won't. And
that I would have appreciated.
And that's the problem with Mike Pence. He's a great guy. He's a nice man, but he's too nice for politics.
Right. He really is. He's way too nice. Yesterday, while Bibi and his wife were in midair coming over to have a scheduled meeting with President Biden, it abruptly got canceled while they were in the air. And then when Biden didn't bother greeting them, Kamala also said, yeah, I'm not going to preside over the Senate while he gives his address to Congress. I'm just not going to do that. So the president and vice president are both completely dissing him when he was taking the trouble to come here to the country to address Congress. It's just gross, this behavior from both of them.
What in the world?
Gross. I know.
Oh my God.
It's just unreal and disgusting.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
He did have time, or his staff had time rather, to change his cover photo on Twitter, his header, to Harris for President, KamalaHarris.com. So
he did not do that.
He did not do that.
He does not know how to use Twitter.
No, he does
not.
He
does not know how to use his phone.
And Kamala tweeted out that she was ready to go to Wilmington to visit headquarters to say hi to the staff and to address them. And Alex Berenson was like, hey, where's your boss? How come he's not talking to us? What's the deal? And I think that is a good question.
Yeah, listen, again, with it, if you don't show us something, we're all gonna dive into conspiracy theories.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's this again with the whole, you guys say that you're the most transparent administration in history, which is the biggest bunch of horse crap. Like, just show us the president. And again, it also shows more that he's weak. We already know that he's weak, but just get him out there. If the doctor says that he's well, then get up on a damn podium and address us.
Take a
Do it
photo.
already.
Like, just have the current White House photographer take a freaking photo. You remember how they released the photos of Trump when he had COVID and he was working at like inside and like still working in the height of his COVID, because everybody was like, "Oh my God, he's dead," and they immediately released the photo and was like, "Look, he's fine.
This is not difficult."
Chill. Yeah, it's not.
And that's why everybody's like, what is going on? Okay, well, just like make the rumors go away.
Yeah. The reason that people should not get complacent and assume that Trump has this in the bag is because there's been a huge fundraising haul. This was earlier in the afternoon when it was only $50 million, but it ended up, they netted the Harris's campaign and the Democrat DNC got $100 million in online donations after Biden got out of the race.
Crazy.
So there are people that actually want them to win.
Yeah.
So
there are also people. There are also people who are really pissed off that they gave money to Biden, and now they didn't want Harris. They wanted Biden. You see what I'm saying? And now they're like,
are there people that really wanted him?
I actually saw one on Ingram's show. Laura Ingraham, is that how you pronounce her last name? Ingraham. He was like, listen, I wanted Biden, and so I gave like $1 million or whatever to her campaign. And so, I mean, I think a lot of these people are like, this kind of sucks, because when you think it's going to be one thing, because listen, they have not gone through the proper channels with this. They're just like changing the rules midstream. And so there are people who thought it's going to be Biden, and that's what they wanted, and that's what the primary said it was going to be. They gave money, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, FYI, it's going to be Kamala now. And it's like, well, wait a second. And so now it's like, what happens to that money? It's going to be what shifted. We don't know. How does that work? What if
it does? She gets it because her name was already on the ticket. So she gets it. This was the easiest way.
But that's what sucks, is a lot of people didn't want that. And if you gave that much money to somebody that you thought was the guy, and then all of a sudden it's not the guy, can you imagine? I would be like, I want my money back.
Yeah.
I want it back.
This is sort of uncharted waters. Like, this is freaking crazy. DeSantis had a statement. By the way, he was on, I don't even remember whose show yesterday, and he was so good. We'll have that clip for tomorrow. But he tweeted out, after pushing Biden out, it was predictable that corporate media would provide hundreds of millions of dollars worth of glowing coverage to his replacement. They are trying to do that with Kamala, but it won't work. She's too vacuous, too liberal, too unaccomplished for the voters to buy the manufactured narrative. Man, I would love him to be right.
I don't agree with them. There's a lot. I mean, I've seen a lot of crap out there on social media where, I mean, they are just doing everything they can to prop her up, and a lot of young people are lapping it up. And a lot of young women are like, "Oh, it's a woman. It's gonna be the first woman," when they can't even define what a woman is.
Right.
It's crazy.
This was an interesting flashback back to February of 2024, when Peter Hasson had said, or I guess he's, I don't know what publication this was. Was it? Oh, I can't remember. I knew it yesterday. It might be Politico, where they were saying, get used to it. Biden isn't going anywhere. It's the GOP fantasy crowd is so accustomed to conspiracy theories that they're betting Democrats will switch candidates at the last minute.
Oh my God.
Have they actually paid attention to politics? Famous last words.
Yeah.
Because now that's exactly
and it's
where
like
we are.
4 days later. It's like the SpongeBob. 4 days later.
A few moments later.
Exactly. Oh my God.
I love this tweet from Saul Grover, who said, a first woman president only means something if the word woman means something.
Exactly.
Is exactly
they don't.
Right.
They can't do it. Now all of a sudden they're so jazzed about a woman president, a black woman president. And it's like, wait, what?
Hermia Jayapal was on The View yesterday, actually saying the words out loud, getting all excited about Kamala because they have received their marching orders. She actually says it. I mean, like,
everybody's been reacting to the news that the president is stepping aside. and, going over it and talking about it. My question is, okay, what do we do now?
Yes.
How do we make this work? What can these folks who are sitting out here do to ensure that she is the nominee?
Well, what a day this is, right? Because now we have our marching orders.
Yeah.
We have a nominee. Her name is Kamala Harris. She is going to be the next president of the United States.
You can see.
Oh my God. It's terrifying.
We've got our marching orders.
Uh-huh. Right.
I have no brain of my own.
Right. I don't think independently. I can't critically think because I'm a Democrat. Yes, exactly.
I mean, my God.
I know. This is the thing. And then the media will fall in line too. And social media, they're so good at it, you guys. It is everywhere. I'm sure you guys have seen it. They're everywhere. They're like all over the place. Kamala is not, and even like I'm seeing her airbrushed everywhere. Not even kidding. I'm seeing pictures. I saw one this morning. I'll have to find it. We'll show it tomorrow. I saw a picture of her standing in front of like the Statue of Liberty.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
She looks like 15, 20 years younger.
Yeah.
Like they're making her look better. It's not just like they're making her be better, but they're making her look like a different person. Like she's prettier. She's younger. She's more vibrant. It's like, this is what they're going to airbrush the shit out of this woman. It's crazy what they're doing.
It is. It's nuts. Osuki says, it was the one finger salute. That's the picture that she sent earlier. Minnesota Solar Baby says the government is one huge GoFundMe using our tax money and we have no say how it's spent.
You're right.
Very frustrating. Stuart the Brit says it's been hard studying America types for the last 8 years, but I still have faith and trust in y'all and America in general, surprisingly. That's nice to hear, Stuart. And Jose Rodriguez says, hey, chicks, how am I supposed to believe Biden called into Kamala's rally when you show those realistic sounding AIs? I'm so conflicted. Just take my money. Yeah, we'll get to those. An interesting point. I'm not trying to be like on Mica's side ever, obviously, but I will say that it has driven me crazy that in 4 years, people still don't know how to say Kamala's name. Like, I feel like that's embarrassing for our side. And it's not funny to like mispronounce her name.
I think it's funny.
People keep doing it.
I think it's hilarious.
But like, it'd be funnier if they were like actually turning it into something totally different, but they're just mispronouncing it. And they're doing it unironically. Like they just genuinely don't know how to say it.
I don't know how to say it. So
yes,
I don't
do.
Do I?
You say it right all the time.
Is it Kamala? Is it?
Yes. Because remember, the easiest way to remember this is that early on, when she was still in campaign mode the last time, she talked about how her stepdaughters called her Mamala. And I was like, actually, that's pretty cute. And that's how I've always known that's how she says it. But like, it's been 4 years. Like we know people should know how to actually pronounce her name. And so Mica's mad about it. And I hated agreeing with her, but I was like, yeah, that actually drives me crazy too. Every time I hear it, anytime I hear someone say Kamala, I'm always like, come on, you guys, just do the minimum amount of work that it takes to know your own vice president's name. Like that just makes you sound dumb.
I think Tucker says her name wrong all the time.
I know. Tucker? I don't know about Tucker. I just know I hear it constantly from our side of the aisle. And I'm
maybe if she did work, that would constitute respect from all of us on this side, then maybe people would remember her name, but she doesn't actually work.
Doesn't say it enough. I don't know, but like it's been long enough that like we should all know how to pronounce the vice president of the country's name. And I hate that she's vice president. I can't stand her. But like, this is just kind of basic. And so Mica's super mad about it. And they will use this as a way to say that Republicans don't have a case against her, right? They're picking on like this ridiculous stuff instead of because they don't have anything else.
How quickly they tried to steal the unity narrative. And I've heard from inside Republican circles and right-wing media that the hate campaign against Kamala Harris has begun. You'll notice they purposefully pronounce her name wrong. They say Kamala. They do it all the time. It is on purpose. But the talk is to start that hate campaign and get it going and start it churning. So my hope is that major Democrats and major Republicans, from the Obamas to the Bush family to military leaders, get behind the democracy ticket and we move on.
Democracy ticket.
Yeah.
Okay. This
Yeah,
has all been so democratic.
I don't know who said it. Somebody said, it's hard for me to care. I don't care. So I don't have any respect for her either. So I don't care. I don't care about this. I think this is a dumb thing to be mad about. I think it's stupid. Really. I don't care.
I'm just saying, why give ammunition to the left who already are going to say, you guys don't have anything to argue. You can't even, this is all you've got.
Maybe it's because like my whole life, my name is Amy Jo. My whole life, people have called me Mary Jo. It happens
I've been
to me
around
all,
for that.
It happens
all the time.
It happens to me all the time. People call me Mary Jo. And at some point I just go, all right, I just answer to Mary Jo. I don't give a shit. Because people are going to do it my whole life, the rest of my life. They're going to call me Mary Jo. And my name is not, in fact, Mary Jo. It's Amy Jo. And it happens in professional settings. It happens in personal settings. It happens all the time. So I just kind of go, whatever, I mean, the people who matter call me by my actual name. And so this is a dumb thing to be mad about. It's just really dumb. We should actually be focusing on the fact that she has a crap record.
Exactly. That should be the focus.
Yeah. And Mica should be focusing on that too. And she's not, because she's like, oh my God, they're being mean about her name.
Well, I just know that whenever I hear it mispronounced, I just can't believe it that 4 years later, people still don't know how to say it. Like that just always surprises me.
She's probably mad because people call her Mica.
Mica?
Her name is Mica. I mean, like that's not going to get screwed up.
Mica. I was like, what? I thought you were talking about Michelle for a minute.
This is the thing. Like her name is her name has been screwed up her whole life. And so she's probably all butthurt about it. And she's like, I'm just going to be butthurt on Kamala's behalf. Plus her husband doesn't like her. That's all.
They don't like each other.
Clearly.
The thing that you're going to hear more and more, and we already talked about this, I think yesterday, I guess we would have talked about it yesterday, is that the Democrats are now all of a sudden going to be very, very concerned about how old a nominee is. And so now Biden, it was fine. Like Biden was 81. That was totally cool. But Trump is 78. And so that is not cool. Make that make sense. So like Joe from Twitter said, it's time for the country to have an honest conversation about Donald Trump's age, cognition, and fitness for office.
These people, man, they're just are. I know.
Shameless.
They are shameless, aren't they? It's crazy. I want to know if Harry Sisson is saying that. He is.
Well, I know he's all aboard the Kamala train for sure.
Oh, of course
and
he
He probably will hit on the age thing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, what hypocrites.
Oh my God. He's going to be like, Trump is so old. So old.
Kid. Mark Cuban saying Father Time is undefeated. I mean, give me a break.
Mark Cuban, that guy, what a piece of work.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are some Democrats who are rightly irritated, but unfortunately, they are few and far between. Jamel Hawley said, I love my Dem family, but you're not going to convince me it's okay to literally change the rules in the bylaws committee, rig the primary election to circumvent Dem candidates, cover a serious health matter, get through the primary, withdraw, and now tell me who the nominee should be? No, not okay.
Okay, well then change your party, because that's who these people are. Seriously.
Yeah.
That's who they are. They're commies. So that's your party. That's who you obviously align with. So get used to it. They're going to cheat.
And they've done it for years. They've done this for every primary.
I know. I can't believe that this guy is actually, he's like, oh my God, I'm so surprised by this. Oh my God.
Right.
Okay.
I loved this really nice summary from Jason Meister, who said, if we just oust Joe Biden, disenfranchise millions of voters, imprison Donald Trump, abuse the FISA court, weaponize the justice system, rig primaries, remove names from ballots, raid the private residence of a former president with deadly force, shut off surveillance cameras, fabricate evidence, gag, censor, and eliminate the Electoral College, expand the Supreme Court, ban voter ID, deny Secret Service resources, and flood the country with tens of millions of illegals, we could save democracy.
Totally. I know, right? Isn't it crazy? And speaking of raiding the private residence of a former president with deadly force, did you see how they got into the shooter's home? Like when the FBI, or I think it was the FBI, when they went to the shooter's home after the shooter obviously had been, killed on the roof, they went to his parents' home and they have footage of it. And they were like knocking on the door, all friendly. Yeah. I mean, they're just like,
Wow.
hey, it's like they were going in to have snacks, and I'm thinking to myself, that guy, I mean, seriously, that guy just killed a guy, wounded 2 others, almost killed a former president. And they're like just sweetly knocking on the door. But, you raid the private residence of a former president. Tell me that there's not something weird about that, you guys.
Yeah, there's something weird.
Yeah.
That is weird. You will appreciate this dude, random dude in a car, making sense. Just
So I'm
doing
trying
that
to get
thing.
this straight. The party that's all about defending democracy rigs 2 primaries in a row in 2016 and 2020 against Bernie. Then in 2024, they roll with a corpse as their presidential candidate and forbid anybody from challenging the corpse. And then when they can no longer gaslight Americans about his condition, they toss him aside like he's a rotting vegetable and then proceed to rig their 3rd straight primary by nominating a candidate that no one was able or allowed to vote for. So that's what they mean by defending democracy, in case you haven't already noticed. They tell you what to do and you shut up.
Exactly
the marching,
right.
She got her marching orders.
They got
their marching orders, you guys.
There was some interesting reporting, I believe, from Politico saying that back in the day, in April of 2022, Kamala was invited to be a guest at a DC news mogul's home that had alongside her Washington journalists and newsmakers. And she was so nervous that her staff had to host a pretend dinner in advance with them acting like they were journalists and trying to make it hard for her, I guess. And they even considered including wine so that she could practice. This is how useless this woman is.
Oh my God.
Behind the scenes. Now they're trying to repaint her as some fierce, powerful go-getter. But man, that is the most ridiculous story. I mean,
she can't go to a dinner.
Right?
Yeah, we're effed. But this is the thing. But they will craft a whole different persona. They're doing it already. They're crafting her into this. They're already PRing the crap out of her.
Yeah. And actually, when she spoke to the campaign headquarters yesterday, I was reminded, I hate to say it, but that was Kavanaugh Kamala. Kavanaugh Kamala is back. And I don't know where she's been, but she was confident and like just different than we've seen her in a long time. You'll see the clips. But first we need to show you, I think it's Nora O'Donnell, or is it Savannah Guthrie or Nora O'Donnell? I can never keep those 2 straight. One of them is talking about how she's getting us ready that any criticism of Kamala is going to be gender-based or race-based.
We're back to Hillary. We're back to the Hillary crap again. I swear
Except we have race added to it, right?
Yes,
it's not just gender. Now it's both. Oh my God, it's just exhausting already.
I wonder, though, how worried the campaign is. Donald Trump ran against a woman, Hillary Clinton, in 2016. It was personal. He called her nasty. He called her a lot of other words. I wonder whether those same types of attacks would work in 2024. There will be a different dynamic running against a Black woman.
I mean, at this time, he'll just be able to call her dumb. Because she is. That was Nora O'Donnell, by the way. Hillary was nasty.
Oh yeah, she was.
She was all of those things. There was nothing he said that wasn't true. And then this time, listen, I know it's like he has to probably go into this and really focus on policy, because you're going to have Black women who get really offended by it. You're going to have Black men that get really offended by it. There's going to be women in general that get really offended by it, because they're going to be like, oh my God, Trump's being mean to women again.
Well, he's got to be really careful about watching the energy around her and reacting to it appropriately, because that's what he sometimes struggles with, is just miscalculating how popular somebody is. I mean, it's easy for him to say, oh, she's a loser and we'll beat her. But like, he really needs to be paying attention to what people are saying about her in a positive way, so that he knows to push the right buttons and not push the wrong ones, because it's dangerous.
Use information like what we just shared, the dinner party stuff.
Right.
Use it.
Use
that.
all of the past 3 years of videotape
Right.
of her. She's been a failure. She's been so burdened
Her
by what
record.
has been.
Right. Use her record and use information like that and go for the jugular on her policies and her record. You don't need to, I mean, seriously, she is stupid. She's stupid. She is inept. She has a terrible record. She's a mess. Just go after that. You don't have to, there's nothing about it. It's, if she were a man, it'd be the same thing. It's the same thing.
I think where she's going to struggle is being off the cuff anywhere. When she's got a script and she feels good about it, she's pretty good. She's a good script reader, and you'll see that. But like when she's in an interview, we've seen her interview for the past. She's awful.
Right.
Like she is terrible. So there's so many clips, and if he does have a chance to debate her, I don't know if he's going to, but if he does, he needs to be throwing that unburdened phrase at her as often as possible and remind people how useless and how just one-faceted she is. Yeah, she's just ridiculous. Shannon Parker says, so many comments to make, not enough money to send. Stuart the Brit says, remember strange colonial types. Kamala as a lawyer could not or ever pass the bar exam. Top quality intellectual. Wait, what? Kamala as a lawyer could not pass the bar? That can't be right.
I'm pretty
she
sure
was the attorney general.
Right. I feel like she passed the bar.
I don't think that's right. Jose Rodriguez says Kamala's name pronunciation has changed over the last 8 years. It's her fault. Even her side of the aisle gets it wrong at times. Take my money again. She's never not pronounced it Kamala. Maybe other people on her side have, but she has not. Like I've never, ever seen that happen. Let's see. Meow Woof 09 said, anyone who thinks the cackle queen is qualified to run a country is crazy. If she wins, our country is doomed. You are right on both counts. However, there are plenty of crazy people, like plenty of them. Audrey Krause 5 said, Dana Perino said every picture of Kamala will be perfect going further. Yep. And Osuki said Hillary said I was dominated by Melvin, and that's why I voted for Trump. Like I had no brain of my own. She's still a bitch. Who's Melvin?
I don't know. I was just going to ask you that.
Dominated
I don't know who
by
Melvin is.
Melvin.
Who's Melvin?
I don't know what that means.
Don't know.
And Craig and Kim Hale, thank you so much. They say, did you hear there was a 4.9 earthquake in Texas last night at 10:38 p.m.? We live in Vashti. And didn't feel a thing, of course. Take our money now, please. I don't know where Vashti is. I don't know
where Vashti is either. I'll have to look. I wonder how far it is from my place.
Okay, and Osuki said Melvin is her husband. Okay. You got to remember, we don't know these things. So you got to help us out because we are clueless. Okay, so Kamala went to Wilmington to be at their campaign headquarters, which is now her campaign headquarters. And here is a little bit of the News Nation reporting on her entrance.
Headquarters there, Wilmington, Delaware. Here she is. Do we have audio of this? All right, let's listen for a moment. She's caught sort of the tail end. She's walking through. So the idea, this is all the staffers who are now her staffers, right? This was Biden-Harris campaign HQ, Wilmington, Delaware. Now it's Harris headquarters.
So that was her grand entrance. I would suspect, just based on her history, that a whole bunch of those people are not going to be there for very much longer because she's reportedly awful to her team. Awful. That's why there's so much turnover.
Yeah. I think she's had, 8 speechwriters?
Yeah.
I mean, just to be fair, though, they've not been very good.
They've been terrible.
They've been unburdened by English. For real.
But this is when I saw Kavanaugh Kamala coming back out. So this is just a little piece of what she said about fighting President Trump.
So in the days and weeks ahead, I, together with you, will do everything in my power to unite our Democratic Party, to unite our nation, and to win this election. You know, as many of you know, before I was elected as vice president, before I was elected as United States Senator, I was the elected Attorney General, as I've mentioned, of California, and before that I was a courtroom prosecutor. In those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators who abused women. Fraudsters who ripped off consumers. Cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain.
Like Democrats?
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
Projecting much? Seriously, projecting much.
Oh my God.
Yeah, cheaters who will do anything to win, right? Mm-hmm. Which is why you're there, lady. You're only there because they're making up the rules as they go along.
Mm-hmm.
But keep projecting.
Yeah. This chick right here, I guess, is the head campaign person. She's and I think she's who introduced Kamala to the rest of the campaign. And she was also taking Biden's phone call. So Biden called in, allegedly, to this meeting or to this appearance. And so this is what it sounded like when he made his remarks.
No, yesterday's news was surprising and it was hard for you to hear, but it was the right thing to do. I know it's hard because you poured your heart and soul into me to help us win this thing, help me get this nomination, help me win the nomination, and then go on to win the presidency. But you know, you're an amazing team. But we've got a great. I think we made the right decision.
So naturally, people are like, "That's not him. That's AI. That's not him. He hasn't been seen. He's probably dead." Like everybody's minds are spinning right now because he still hasn't been seen. Yeah,
I don't blame them. Yeah, I don't blame them for saying all those things because he's not been on camera. I mean, who resigns? Who drops out of a race, out of a presidential race, without doing it in person? Who does that?
Yeah, right. Like what?
I mean,
it's Howard.
Totally. I mean, this is the thing. And then they're like, he's selfless. No, he's not. This guy is the biggest pansy I've ever seen in political history because he did that on X. I mean, and then his press secretary is going to go on The View today. That's the first thing she's going to do. Like that was her instinct. Her instinct wasn't to address the American people like she should have. Her instinct was to go on The View. These people are a joke. Yeah. I mean, this is not selfless. This is not brave. This is not courageous in any way. These people are cowards and they're cheaters.
So Kamala also interacted with Joe, supposedly, when she was talking and he was still listening on the phone. So here's a little bit of that.
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call.
On the what now? On the what? Because it kind of sounded like she was saying recording, but then caught herself.
Uh-huh. Yeah. He's on something. We don't know what it is. Could be on ice for all we know.
Lord. Here's the rest of that.
And we've been talking every day. You guys heard it from Doug's voice. We love Joe and Jill. We really do. They truly are like family to us. Mm-hmm. And everybody here does.
Yeah. It's mutual.
Yeah.
I knew you were still there. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe.
Oh, she loves him so much. Remember when she called him a racist? Remember?
Oh, yeah.
That remember? Was good times. Mm-hmm. Remember during the campaign when he was like a total racist? Remember? And now she just loves him. They're family, you guys. You guys have racists in your family? You guys remember?
And that's this tough thing to get over, but she's done a great job.
She's gotten over it. It's interesting how he's a racist and now they're family, but then they call Trump a racist when he actually isn't. And they just can't get over that for some reason. It's weird. It's really weird.
Here, this is AI. Okay. So once again, I just want to set this up by saying this is not real.
Anyway, I just want to say that these people fucking kidnap me. They won't even give me any ice cream, not even food, regular food, until I sign some bullshit letter they want me to sign. But I am not signing that shit. I staying in the race. So let's go, Brandon.
You know that's how they got him. They lured him in with ice cream. You know that actually is true. They were like, "Come on, Joe, come on."
This also is AI.
So what did you do to become the presidential nominee of your party?
Well, sometimes you just have to hawk Tuah and spit on that thing, you know?
Hashtag Willie Brown. Willie Brown, you guys.
Oh my God, I love that so much.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And then listen, happily, she's not gonna snow everybody. There's a lot more Black support for Trump than there ever has been ever before. And there's a lot of folks who don't feel as though she is a true representative of the Black community. Here is one of those people. This is not AI, by the way. This is real.
For y'all
This is
Democrats
real.
start trying to play the race card, I want y'all to understand this. Kamala is not Black. Her kids is not Black. Her husband is not Black. She does not come from Black culture. So don't tell me I got to support Kamala Harris because she Black. The race pandering from the Democratic Party got to stop. It's really that simple. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I hope there's a whole bunch of people like him. A whole bunch of people.
Yeah, there probably are. I mean, it's true.
He definitely has more support than ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally, and a lot of cred now because, yeah, I mean, he's going to do more for the Black community. He did more for the Black community than Biden did.
Yeah.
I mean, he did more for every community than Biden has done and that Kamala has done. You know, I mean, Kamala, listen, just harp on the fact that she was in charge of the border. What did she do?
Mm-hmm.
And that's affected all of us. It's affected the Black community. It's affected all of us.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Reba Henry says she has no accomplishments. Qualifications is what should be the main point. Absolutely right.
You'd think, but Democrats don't care about qualifications. All they care about is the color of your skin and lady parts.
Stuart the Brit says Kamala didn't pass the bar. She was given a pass. Don't doubt the Stewie. Go check. Well,
Okay.
damn.
We would
will
never
have
doubt
to-
the Stewie, right? I mean, God, we shouldn't have doubted the Stewie.
And Osuki says next news network thinks it was a recording. Harris starts to say recording, then changes it to call. Yeah, that's what we just said.
Mhm.
All right. So this is like technically going to be a schlong, I guess, but it's kind of a mishmash for a schlong. And it's just sort of a little montage of different angles that are being taken right now by the media. First, you're going to hear, and Nancy Mace was being interviewed by CNN, and she's still in her pink suit because this was yesterday. And the spin is kind of remarkable because this reporter, and I don't know who the interviewer is, but they're basically saying, well, yeah, I mean, Biden got out of the race, but like that's not because of mental decline. That could just be, something else. I mean, this is what they're actually doing, you guys.
I knew this was on the horizon, frankly, and people wondered whether he would step down away from being reelected. But the fact that he's not running for reelection does not actually mean that he does not have the cognitive ability. There could be mutually exclusive points.
Oh my God.
Why are you so sure that's what this means?
We've all seen his decline. We've all seen that he is now a diminished individual. What other reason would he not run for reelection? And if it weren't for his mental acuity, his cognitive decline, there's really no other option out there. And if you don't have the ability to run for reelection because of your diminished state, then who's really running the country? I think that's a fair question that the American people are sort of asking themselves. How is this even possible? I do also see it as a national security issue. Like, who's making the decisions? Joe Biden was elected, but is he really the one running the country? And I don't think the American people are buying that right now.
Well, one reason to not run for election, he has stated, essentially, and he didn't have the support, really, of the Democrats any longer.
Oh,
the donors
my
were pulling
God.
out. There was no path forward. There were reasons given totally separate from any notion of a cognitive ability. And
Nope.
even in his letter to the American people, he did not talk about it as an issue. And
Oh my God.
Yeah, the spin is remarkable, isn't it? And also, you don't get to do that, lady. Do you not understand how the country works, how processes work? I mean, this is the thing. They're reinventing the processes now. Like, we're going to go ahead and find a new process, according to Obama. That's not how it works. Y'all elected this guy. Like you said, this is going to be our guy. This is the guy that we're going to have. And then since he wasn't doing well and he did a shit job in that debate.
Uh-oh, you froze. Is it just me? Did she freeze for anybody else? Is she frozen? Are you back? Come back. Hello. Come back. Is she frozen for just me or is she there for you guys? Anybody? Okay, she is frozen.
I'm back.
There you are. Okay.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
back. Sorry. I think it's weather here. We're having weather. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm glad you're back. There's so much cringe that you're about to hear in this next propaganda clip happening on CNN. So we talked about this earlier in the show, that they are going to reinvent Kamala to be this person that they want her to be, that they so desperately need her to be, forgetting the fact that we've lived with her for the last 3.5 years. We know her. We're on to her, right? But now, thanks to TikTok, thanks to Gen Z, the same videos that you and I and the rest of our audience make fun of and did make fun of yesterday, like you'd think I just fell out of a coconut tree, like that. They're now using it as like this cool thing that she said. And now they're all using like coconut symbols. They're taking her old dance videos and reimagining them and like saying how cool she is and like how much she can get down. All the stuff we mock her for, they're going to turn around and use it to prop her up. This is what they're doing. And it's remarkable. Here's one of the things that's happening on TikTok right now, according to this panel. And it has to do with a singer, Charlie XCX. I think I'm saying that right. Here they are.
For the record, I was tipped off about this, what I'm about to share with our voters, our viewers rather, by my 16-year-old daughter, who is an actual member of Gen Z. Kamala Harris appears to be leaning into this. The singer, Charlie XCX, tweeted last night, "Kamala is brat." And this is in reference to her album. It's called Brat. Kamala has branded her Kamala HQ Twitter page with the same aesthetic of the album. That's another Gen Z word, aesthetic. It's even becoming a trend on TikTok. Special Gen Z correspondent Jamie, what can you tell us about
So first of all, just for my producer Elizabeth Stewart, who will spit out her coffee as I say this, I am supposed to say, "That's brat." And for those who are not in the know the way I am, that is a cool thing. It has a color. Chartreuse is the color, and Kamala Harris has adopted that for whatever social media page that is. But I have brought some notes because I knew you would want a definition. Okay, here we go. Charlie XCX, who I do know, quote, "Brat, you're just that girl who is a little messy and likes to party and maybe says some dumb things sometimes," end quote.
So is the idea that we're all kind of brat and Vice President Harris is brat?
Well,
I don't know if you're brat. I think you aspire to be brat.
Right.
Okay? You don't just become brat.
Oh, okay.
You have to try.
You can work at it.
I will aspire to be brat.
This is real, you guys.
Do you remember when people had to be serious and like accomplished and smart to run the country? Do you guys remember that?
Good times.
I'm old enough to remember when that was the case. And now you have to, you're in a PR machine, and it's singers, artists on TikTok that are like able to PR you catapult you into the presidency. This is because you're something called brat. I'm sorry, but WT is going on.
It's happening though, and TikTok, as we know, is a pretty powerful platform. This tweet says, if you're not on TikTok, you're missing just how amped the youths are about Harris. It is a pretty monumental energy shift. This is the kind of stuff that we would love to just be able to like poo-poo, but that we really need to be paying attention to and taking seriously.
Yeah. Where have we seen this before, Ma? Tell me where we've seen this before.
Oh my God. I mean, this is what we always see with Democrats. We always see them do this with all their candidates. It's the cool factor. This is what they do. I mean, this is like clockwork every time. You know what I mean? She had a horrible approval rating. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next week or so, but she had a horrible approval rating, and now she's going to be skyrocketing in approval. I'm sure of it. And here is Van Jones to talk about the exact same thing.
That's hard to quantify, because what's happening on TikTok right now is extraordinary.
all of the things that were cringy about Kamala, her laugh, the coconut tree comment, being unburdened by like all those weird things she said. She's gone from cringe to cool in 24 hours as a whole generation has taken all that content and remixed it in all these incredible TikTok videos. So they worked very hard to attract black men into the Republican Party. They worked very hard to attract Latin men into the Republican Party. And they were getting a little bit of momentum there. There are a lot of black men who are saying, no, the Democrats don't do anything for us, and Biden's weak, and they're starting to look over there at the Republican Party. You start insulting black women, you're going to see something you haven't seen before. Black men are not going to put up with that. I want to send a warning, as clear as I can. I was on a phone call with 20,000 black men. The word protect came up about 1,000 times. Protect this sister. Protect this sister. We're going to protect her. Protect her. You're about to see something you haven't seen before. Look, people messed around with Hillary Clinton and said a bunch of mean stuff to her. Black men set that out. We won't set this out.
Are you there?
Yeah, I am. But I'm freezing a lot. I can't see like half the stuff that you're showing. I'm sorry. You guys, I the storm coming.
Yeah, it's freezy. Shoot, because we were gonna do a couple talks today. We had a DD lined up today. We had another video to show you about this very topic, but storms are making that hard. So I guess we're gonna have to call it a day. We are longer than we've ever been ever. And so I will grab the super stickers from folks that have sent them, and then I will make sure that we recognize y'all tomorrow. And in the meantime, I'm so sorry that we had to cut it short, but this is what happens.
Sorry, you guys.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. We'll have to maybe catch up on that tomorrow because it's bad here. I think we're about ready to get hit. So I'm sorry, but we made it over 2 hours. So
that's right.
That's good. That's a really great thing. Maybe we should just bring it in and call it a day.
There you go. Bring it in, hurry before you freeze again.
Yes, you guys bring it in. We'll catch up on all the talks and everything tomorrow, you guys. Yes.
We were almost done. There was just like a few more things that we wanted to do, and we'll get all that tomorrow. Now she's frozen in the worst possible screenshot ever.
Bye, guys.
Bye.